If you're anything like me, traveling and going to very large cities, the very large cities don't really do it for me. They all seem to be very similar. Yes, the architecture is different, but a lot of the stores and everything are the same. It's very commercial, it's very touristy. I really like to get out, mostly to the countryside, and just see what the country's really like. And this one town we were driving through happened to have a very odd name. In English, it kind of sounds like shitluck, but it's probably Shitluck or something like that. Very odd, but it's a beautiful spot. And while driving in this area, we also found this very old Romanesque amphitheater that is supposedly dates into the BC era. I think around 33 BC is when it was supposedly built. This is a huge Roman amphitheater from the time when the Romans sort of occupied the whole Mediterranean Adriatic area. The area with all the ruins used to be a town called Barnum. It is believed that the town of Barnum originates in the year 33 BC, but it's actually more likely that it was established a few decades later. The ultimate purpose for its design and construction was to control the human traffic around the Krka River in Croatia. Building was initiated by the Roman governor for Dalmatia, Publius Cornelius Dolabella, and was continued by the Emperor Claudius himself. The camp gained its final shape during the reign of Claudius around 50 AD. According to some sources, there was a rebellion started by a prominent Roman senator against Emperor Claudius in 42 AD that was started at Barnum. After the last Roman legions had left the camp, it had developed into somewhat of an urban settlement. Ultimately, the camp of Barnum had been completely destroyed in the 6th century after Emperor Justinian tried to take it back from the Ostrogoths. The amphitheater was initially a military amphitheater, and it was able to accommodate up to 6,000 spectators. This would have been sort of like a coliseum on a smaller scale. If you've ever seen the movie Gladiator, they started out in these little rural areas and these small amphitheaters fighting, and then eventually worked their way up to the main coliseum in Rome. That's kind of what this was. Eventually, it was turned over for civilian use. Coins found in the area enable parts of the amphitheater to be dated back to the reign of Emperor Claudius. The amphitheater eventually collapsed through disuse and neglect. Now, some people eventually started building it back into what you're seeing now. This whole area kind of became disused and probably just buried. It wasn't until the 19th century that excavations were conducted by Austrian archeologists that actually unearthed this amphitheater, and then over time, what you're seeing in the video is it being rebuilt, somewhat restored back to its former glory. And they're doing a really good job. It's actually pretty incredible. Also in Barnum, there is what they call Plavno Polje. It is an entirely underground aqueduct, so the water stayed cool in the summer, and it moved so quickly that it didn't freeze in the winter. It is about 32 kilometers long and 170 meter height difference between the source and the town itself. It's estimated to have flowed about 86 liters per second. The location itself of Barnum is apparently only partially investigated. Archaeologists are still doing work there, and it is possible that some of the structures are pre-Roman. Apparently there was a tribe living in the area called the Liburnian, so they very well may have started Barnum, but when the Romans came in, they used their expertise with building and aqueducts and everything like that really to shape it into what it was. It's still being investigated, so really, hopefully more stuff comes out about that. Lastly, apparently this area, Barnum, is nicknamed the Hollow Church or Hollow Church, and I don't know how I got that name, but it's a very interesting place. I'm glad I just found it on the side of the road. Really cool thing to see. This is why you really need to get off the tourist areas, the big cities, and go explore. If you're traveling, go explore. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.